Alright, so we're going to show you how to do a basic base build once you get started. This is pre 1.3, although I think a lot of the basics still apply here. I know a lot of the tiers of building will change. Like here, we have twig, and then we have wood, and then we have metal. So the twig will obviously be a lot more weak, and then log tier will be like the new setup. But anyways, so if you just get started, we have a few extra things that you probably don't have, like a weapon. But everybody starts with a knife. You just start with a knife, find a bush, and start cutting away. I usually get about 700-ish of this. And then the first thing you want to do, is my voice cracks, first thing you want to do is create a hammer, and then create a storage container. Hopefully we don't get caught up in this, whatever this is. Yeah, same thing when you have an actual axe, you just go up to a tree like this, put your face in it, and then just start chopping it down. And actually, the tree does stay, as my voice cracks one more time. The tree does stay, but you can just continuously get logs. So really, if you find a tree that's inside of your base, it's kind of OP. So once you have the hammer, that's the key to everything. We're going to move this to our main bar here. And you can see that you can build all kinds of things. You hold the left trigger, and then you can do things like foundations, everything else. Is it not going to let us build here? Oh, is this too close? Okay, fine. I guess we'll move out further. Doesn't want us too close to the safe zone. I get it. One of the biggest things you want to do is find a source of water, a good loot route, even if it's weak. If you have a good variation and a good food source, like these reeds in the water, they do kick up a lot of ducks. Ducks seem to be a pretty good source of food. We're trying to build in the middle of a hot zone. Love it. Okay, cool. We can build here. One of the things I like to do is find a flat area, but then make sure that I can actually raise my foundations around it. Typically I put these in trees, but out here will work probably fine. So what I'm going to do is kind of find a flat spot there where I can do a 1x2, like this. And then I'm going to try to go around and raise the foundation all the way around. And hopefully it's green everywhere. But what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to take the door frame first, like this. I'm sorry. Scaffold. Arrows out, and then I'm going to go to the door selection here for the gate. I'm going to select the gate, and then if you are lucky enough to have 3 wire and 3 spare parts, you can make a door lock. If you don't have it, there is a solution for this. You can buy one at the outpost. So you install the lock here. Oops, gotta hold the action button. We'll say it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter. I think we have to type it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter. Good. Okay. Now that we have that, we can go over here and then place the tool cupboard. Place the foundation here halfway into the, place the, what is this? Not the foundation. The tool cupboard. They call it the storage. Now the thing with this here, oops, oh boy. Go to 12 o'clock and then let's tear this down. The twig tier is going to be a lot weaker with 1.3. Right now, you can take it down with a hatchet. But I think the key to this build, if you don't have a lock, is going to be, well, this should be the key, whether you have a lock or not. But you cannot jump. There's no ladders in this game. So essentially, if you create this, and we kind of move this outward, we create a doorway. If we basically have 2 staircases, or 2 walls high, nobody can get in, even with a vehicle. So the idea here is that we create basically a solid foundation all the way around if we can. Raise these foundations if you can. And just create an area that you have to jump up and create scaffold and then delete. So even if you don't have a lock and you have enough twig to pull this off, you can totally do it. See what I mean? Now you basically have an impenetrable base until somebody raids it. So if you don't have a door lock, that is an option. So what I'm going to do here is make sure I put a little bit of twig inside. And again, if you want to have a lock, we'll show you a way you can get it if you just, because you know how you walk around, you have all these like pistols and shotguns you don't necessarily need? Well, you can trade them in for cash. And that cash can be your way to buy the lock. Okay, so right here, I'm just going to put a doorway. Then we're just going to seal this off like a normal doorway. So this usually gets you started at first. Yes, people come by and raid you, but if you're out of the way enough, this will usually be enough to keep people off your back. Because each foundation's a lot more. I'll show you here in a second. So if you go down here, see this foundation? 3,000. See these walls? 1,000. And then you create a scaffold here and aim it out, and then create a doorway here. Then that way you have a single pass-through motion here. So if we kind of take this, when this door is open, it creates that pass-through. If very familiar with Rust. So this way you have an airlock and you have a completely sealed base. Now, the way you get in and out is by creating a scaffold on the way up. It's very important that you delete it on the way out. Because after 15 minutes, I believe, it does go away. So you want to tear it down. So as you saw, the upgrades here do take... Sorry, my voice keeps cracking. Takes planks and nails. Jeez. So what we're going to do... I think we'll create the jump up here, where we have to create the scaffold. Oh, that's a player, that's a player. Hang on. Should we take him out? I'm gonna run, because you know what? I don't have any more bullets. I forgot I only packed 30. Okay, so in the safe zone you can buy nails. 100 of them for $6,000. Now, you can find them around various locations. Construction sites usually have a lot. Those like brick houses that are kind of half finished usually have quite a bit. But again, if you find a bunch of shotguns, usually you can sell those for like $1,000, or even those long hatchets, you get a lot of those. You can sell those for $1,000 a piece. Do 6 of those, you have enough for nails. I think the biggest thing after that is probably finding planks. The trick is, you want to have like a fireman's axe or whatever, cut down logs, then you want to plane them with a wood planer, but it's not enough to have a wood planer. You have to have a generator, which again, 10 spare parts, 10 metal scraps, okay? And when that's done, it needs to have gasoline in it, and then you need to have a wood planer, that's 10 logs, 10 spare parts, and 10 scrap. So you're going to need about 20 of each for all of these, and then you can start sticking logs in and making your own wood planks at mass, because like you could just chop down, you can sit there in one tree and get like 1,000 wood and then just stick it in there and just, you know, let it make planks. And then after that, your biggest obstacle is going to be nails. So if you don't have a good loot route to pick up nails, the best thing to do is to go to the outpost and just pick some up. Or remember, the outpost does have storage. If you're playing, if you don't have a base down, just keep throwing your loot inside of the storage at the safe zones. There's 2 different storages. There's south and north. So as you can see here, we've already collected a few. Actually, I brought some down. And I brought some planks from the wood planer as well. So you can sell all sorts of things. This guy buys certain things. This guy will buy certain things. You start to see how things can add up. Those Mosins you get from the guys on the road can add up. Anyways, if you need those supplies, that's where you get it. Also, let's see. Is it from this guy? You can also see inside of here it's $7,000 for a base lock. So if you don't have enough for spare parts and you need that lock, that's where you get it. So what you need for the lock again is 3 wires and 3 spare parts. Again, if you're out there looting and just kind of bring stuff back, you'll eventually get this. So just kind of find your nearest safe zone and start throwing stuff on the inside. That's my recommendation. I would take a bit more plankage here. Again, I got all this from my wood planer back at my base. So even if you have like 50 nails, it's usually enough to get in there. So remember, your foundations are the most HP, so you probably want to upgrade your door first and your roof tile, because those are your weakest points. And then probably the foundations around your actual TC. Now remember, you can stick stuff in the TC, just remember, things can hang outside of that. So you want to make sure all your TCs are covering up your different boxes and your tool cupboard. So again, if you don't have all those things and you've been selling some items, it's a good way to just kind of get right into it. A lot of times, like, yes, I know where nails are, but a lot of times you've got the wood planks and you need to upgrade right away, so just know you've got the buying option to go to the outpost and just buy some outright. Because usually you've got at least around $10,000-ish, you know, with the traders. Also, please remember that the storage, you have 2 of them, north and south, but also when you sign out completely, safely, your character does take the loot with them. So you've got some options if you're kind of just doing casual or you're just having a hard time because the server's loaded. Okay, now the base is secure, yes, but ideally you want to have like an air pocket on the side, like a piece of honeycomb that's too high that you kind of place your stairs down in and then destroy them behind you. Yes, it's annoying, but it's the most effective way to use all of your HP on your base. So we're going to go to the hammer, we're going to go to some foundations. Also, when you have things decay in this base, they decay very quickly, so keep that in mind. Like, very quickly. So essentially this would all be sealed up, and then you have a door you walk into quickly. And then here is where you place these crazy stairs, and then you just go up. There's a glitch right now in this current build where the stairs make crazy noises all the time. I hope I'm close enough to destroy that. Just barely. So even when people come by, they have no way to get in. There's no air vehicles, there's no ladders. Too high is unclimbable. And even if they got in, they'd have to deal with all of these doors and then raise foundations. So essentially our raised foundations are here. You can see they got some beefy health. Our ceiling tile is the weak point here, so we're going to want to upgrade that right away. Again, we've got nails and planks, so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this door. It's now 2,000. Do not forget, oh yeah, we got to type the code in again. Don't forget to get the scaffold, just like your twig door frames. 5 planks, 4 nails. Now, if you have enough, get the foundations at least, and now you've got yourself a tanky base. And you can start building things like these boxes. There you go, large plank container. And jamming them into the wall, creating shelving units and placing them into the wall. You've got a lot of storage. And because we're using bare minimum, as you start to get more supplies, you can start to upgrade these different foundations. And then what you will start to see, I think, initially, is people will go around and try to hit these twig walls. But you'll have plenty of time to upgrade everything else before that starts to happen, unless you're really in a hot zone. So now that we have that, you cannot forget to stick your planks in there because the decay rate is extremely fast. Oh, we had just enough. We had like 65. Whew, look at that. We got like 1 nail. That's crazy. And don't forget to stick your sleeping bag inside of your base and then upgrade your foundations. But this right now is pretty tanky for somebody just out there just looking for somebody to raid, because you'll see a lot of people out there with like bikes, cars, just trying to raid people at random because they've got some dynamite. So this is a good way to get started in Deadside for the console or for the PC. Now again, this will change just a little bit when 1.3 comes out, but ideally, as long as you've got these raised foundations and raised walls, nobody can really get inside. So there you go.